Hey out there. Happy Canada Day, everybody. No, I'm not Canadian at all, or I'm actually an American who's living in an unfree state. I'll just put it that way. It's a sad thing when an American actually has to say, I am not free as a Canadian. Not that there's anything wrong with Canada. Hello, how are you doing? This is my trusty sidekick, Bree. Bree, how do you feel about Canada Day? Is it a good day? It's a fantastic day. Welcome to October 17th. Weed is now legal across the entire nation of Canada. So all my Canadian brethren and sisterin, welcome to the wonderful world of weed news. That's right. All the news you can use to roll it up and smoke it. I will be smoking one in your honor, symbolically, since I am not free, but they can't stop me from pretending. You know what? This is too small for such an important event as Canada Day. See, it's working. I've already forgotten what it was that I was calling it. Welcome to Canada Day. I'm Doc Beans. This is Weed World News. This is just going to be a quick little segment. I just wanted to give a shout out to my friends in Canada. I wanted to let you know that I'm so happy for you. It's a cool thing that's gonna come out of this. I know everybody says they're watching you and this and that. Yeah, they're watching you with envy because you're getting to roll a big fat spleef, man, and you're right lighting it up on the far side. Oh, such a nice, big, free puff breath. That's not how Canadians sound. Maybe we should, I'm so old, I remember Bob and Doug McKenzie. Does anyone remember Bob and Doug? I do. Take off, hoser. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to do my worst Bob and Doug impression, but, where's Geddy Lee when you need it? $10 is $10. So, welcome to Canada Day. Happy for you all up there in the Great White North. We're down in the lower 48 here. And hopefully, they say that Trump is actually asking for reclassification suggestions. They don't actually put it that way. I think they say they want to hear from people that are concerned with the classification of weed as a Schedule 1 narcotic right up there with heroin, seen as having no medicinal value whatsoever. Funny how opiates derived from heroin have all kinds of medicinal value, enough to let doctors just write prescriptions left and right. But we're not going to get into that. This is a happy day. We're not going to be dwelling on the past. Although I will say that legalized weed has actually shown opiate use to go down. There's absolutely nothing wrong with legalized cannabis. Teen use goes down when legalization happens. Crime goes down when legalization happens. And you know what? Crime simply goes down because you're not giving your money to somebody who's doing something under the radar. You have no idea where that money goes after it leaves your hands, by and large. I mean, you might know that it goes to your buddy, Eric, the nine-fingered pirate who sells you weed, but you don't know where it goes after that. You don't know if it's going to California or Istanbul or, wherever. So, yeah, crime goes down. Crime goes down because you've decriminalized it, and that's an important aspect, and important for any American to remember. So, again, I really just came on to say, hello, Canada. Welcome. I wish I were up there celebrating with you guys. I don't actually know any Canadians who are still living up in Canada. All the Canadians I know are living down here now. So welcome to the Doc Beans Weed World News Show and a special Canada Day edition. You all rock. I can't say, oh, here's my shout out to Canada. Now, it's Food Lion, granted. This may not actually be a product of Canada. Let's check. 100% pure, grade A, dark color, robust taste, maple syrup. Product of USA and Canada. So this is in part Canadian. It's at least got the maple leaf. So I'm proud of you guys. I don't know if it would be seeming disrespectful or not, But I was actually going to sing at least the first bar of the Canadian national anthem. I don't know it at all. But I think from what I remember from the 2 hockey games I've been to in my life, it goes something like this. Oh, Canada, something, something, something. Roll up a spleef and pass it to me, please. Oh, Canada. I'd say I'm way off, I know. But it doesn't really matter. Today's about partying and feeling good. I'm in love with Canada today. You know, we're the northern continent here in the Americas, and we share a border, and we should all be one. And the Mexicans should be part of North America too. It should just be North America. I'm down with that. Hopefully our political system will catch on board, especially once they see that Canada is estimated to make $3 billion in the first month alone. Think about that. There's not even that many Canadians. You know, America has a little over 300 million people. I don't know how many people live in Canada, but I'm going to guess it's not even 300 million, and yet they're going to rake in $3 billion that can go to infrastructure. I'm sorry, sweetie. Schools, all kinds of other stuff. If you want to pump it into a military, fine. They've even said up in Canada that the military will not be penalized. People in the military will not be penalized for partaking in weed. And that's fine. You know what? If I were in a foxhole under heavy fire, I wouldn't run away if I were stoned on weed. I would actually probably be staying chill and keeping a cool head. So I think, cannabis should actually be part of a military pack, quite frankly. You don't have to smoke it if you don't want to, and that's fine. And a lot of people won't. More power to you. That just means, there's plenty of weed around. That reminds me of a joke. What's the only downside of smoking weed? You have less weed, and that's about it. So welcome to Doc Beans' Smoke Sesh, Weed World News. We are just heaping praise on Canada. I'm so envious of you guys. And I'll sing it again. Oh, Canada, to me you are so green. Roll up a spleef and pass the doobie, please. Don't bogart that joint. I know you wouldn't, you're cool. Got to love Canada. You're taking us to school. I hope America gets on board and passes weed legalization. Got news for you, American politicians. People are already smoking it. People are already enjoying. We might as well be reaping the benefits of this and cutting out the criminal aspect of it altogether. Cut out the cartels. Cut out people that are dicks. I wish we could pass that kind of legislation too, but then again, I guess we wouldn't have any politicians left. So give us our freedom. Give us our liberty. Let us be like our Canadian brethren. Hats off to you all up in Canada. Oh, in case you're wondering why I'm wearing a red hat, just do it. Do it and be proud of it. Be proud of being an American and be proud of who you are. And we've got to get over this criminalized bullshit. We need to start reaping rewards, putting people to work. Legalized weed is a great reason for people to have jobs, not just in the cannabis industry, but so they can go and buy cannabis and quit, stigmatizing anything about it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with smoking weed. It used to be the most American thing in the world, okay? Our founding fathers were almost all hemp farmers. Hemp helped us create the Navy that helped us kick the Brits out of here in the first place and won us our freedom. It used to be legal to pay your taxes in hemp in America, and at one point when we were the colonies, it was illegal to be a farmer and not grow hemp. Okay? Incredibly important. Of course, it took politicians like Henry Anslinger in 1937 to ramrod through legislation that criminalized the entire plant, meaning that you couldn't even study it. You couldn't even differentiate between industrial hemp, which has virtually no THC, and really kick-ass killer bud that does have THC and people are willing to pay top dollar for. But even CBD is beneficial. It helps kids with epilepsy, fight off seizures. It fights off tumors. It's a miraculous plant. All right, if you want religious justification, fine. Look in the very beginning of the Torah and or the Old Testament in the Bible. Genesis 1:11, God gave us all seed-bearing plants. So 1:11, y'all. This is 1, this is 11. This is my new symbol for, free the weed. Genesis 1:11, okay? All seed-bearing plants. Which anybody who, like I'm fond of saying, bought weed in Texas in the 80s knows there's a lot of seeds in there. So it is definitely a seed-bearing plant and probably the best one of all time. Cannabis was probably the very first cultivated plant by mankind. There are ancient texts from Egypt to Japan to, cave drawings, Neolithic cave drawings that depict medicinal uses of cannabis and spiritual uses of cannabis. They found a shrine with a monk, ironically a Caucasian monk, buried in China that's 12,000 years old that had a nice big fat bowl burnt to the side. So they were either using it for spiritual reasons or for recreational reasons or for, whatever the hell reason they want to. You have no right to legislate anything on me as far as what I put into my body. As long as I'm not hurting anybody and as long as I'm not causing any kind of a problem to the infrastructure and as long as I'm a contributing member of society, what do you care what I do? At any rate, happy Canada Day. Love you guys. Peace out. Love to come up there as soon as I can, but they probably wouldn't let me back over the border. So we're going to be working on that. We're going to be working down here in America. And to be real honest, people think that I would be placated. I've been advocating and educating people about cannabis for about 30 years now, since way back in the Nancy Reagan Just Say No era. I lived through that nightmare. Okay, I was a journalist through that nightmare times. And I knew it was bullshit back then, but, sometimes you have to let negative energy ride out and wait for the pendulum to swing back the other way. Well, it looks like it is now, but I'm not going to be content until cannabis is legal worldwide and every prisoner that's been put away for minor offenses with cannabis is freed because they're political prisoners, in my opinion. Happy Canada Day! Oh, Canada! To me, you are so cool. I wish I knew the words to this song, but I'll make them up. And I don't mean to be disrespectful at all. I'm really very happy for you guys. So say a little prayer for us down here in the lower 48. Keep in mind that a lot of us are dry, and that's why probably we're grumpy. And keep a good thought in your hearts. To all my smoking brethren and sisterin out there, be cool to each other. Take care of each other. And to quote the Beatles, let's get high with a little help from our friends. So I hope to see you in the smoke circle. And I'll be back with more weed news later. Right now, I'm just going to be dancing around and doing my Canada dance. Trying to call herb into my life. Free, legal herb. Well, maybe not free, but actually okay, don't get me started. That's how it should be. I think the Washington, D.C. model is good. I think everybody should be able to grow what they smoke. Don't sell it or anything else, but, I think people should be able to grow whatever they want to on their own property or, in a container out in the back garden. All right, peace. Love you guys. Take care of each other. And as always, puff, puff, pass. All right, peace. Take care.